Hey guys, a little bit of an update of a project I'm going to begin working on very soon, and something I might share with you while I'm working on it, but it will really come into full bloom next year. I am going to take the 44, at that time possibly 45, men that have held the presidency. And a quick note on that: Donald Trump is the 45th president of the United States, but he's the 44th man to hold the office. Grover Cleveland served two non consecutive terms as president, and that's where some confusion for some people on how many people have actually been president comes into effect. 44 different people have held the office, but we've had 45 different presidential terms, you might say. We've had a lot more terms, but 40, you get what I'm saying. Um, I'm going to take the men that held that office and rank them where I believe they fall in history from the worst to the best. Um, and I know this is going to sound contradictory, but follow me for a minute. I am going to only rank 40 of them. I feel it is obviously way too early, um, and especially if he is reelected, um, to judge Donald Trump on that list. One, I feel we don't know how history's going to view his actions in office. We have an ideal, and a lot of it is very politically motivated. And you're going to be bathed in political bias. You will have people on the right who believe Donald Trump was a great president. They're already comparing him to Reagan. You have people on the left who are equating him with Andrew Johnson and James Buchanan in the lower, almost worst presidential tier. Um, I certainly have my political bias. I believe he's been a failure as president. Um, so I believe not enough time has passed from him. Actually, it's 39. I'm forgetting a person. I don't believe that you can fairly adequately judge President Obama yet. Um, he has only been out of office for 4 years. I think it takes about 20 years after a president's left office to fairly begin to judge their standing in history. George W. Bush, he has only been out of office for 12 years. And while some of his policies we are beginning to able to fully grasp the ramifications of, I still think that political bias creeps into that. And then there's two other presidents. James Garfield served about 6 months in office, and most of that was confined to his deathbed. And he couldn't really make any lasting achievement in office. I think it's certainly possible, looking at James Garfield's record, that if he had lived, he would have been a great president. Um, and then there's William Henry Harrison, who died 30 days into office. Obviously, he wasn't able to make any significant impact on the office. So I won't be judging those individuals on the list, ranking them. We will cover them and discuss them. But I'm looking at a full life perspective on these people. What they did before they were president, what they did as president, and if they had a post presidency. Because we've had presidents that didn't have a post presidency. Uh, and we've had a few that had very short post presidencies. So it it is a whole life perspective. I think we also have to look at the actions may have been popular while they were president, and people perceived them to be great things then. But when we get to the foresight of history and the foresight of ramifications of those events, they look very terrible. And we think, how in the world could people have supported this? We will discuss those things. Um, I'll also discuss how with all of them, hopefully something I believe they did right. And with all of them, obviously something that they did wrong. The a criticism I have of them. I think every American president has had some failings um, in office. That they've all at some point done something uh, that tarnishes their legacy in some respect. Uh, but I just wanted to give you an update on this project I'm undertaking. I have been considering doing this for a while, and I've really, um, in the past couple of weeks, just been racking my brain about what inherent qualities about a president make them a success and what make them a failure. And I thought, well, you need to make a list of who you consider to be good presidents and who you consider to be bad presidents. Um, so we're gonna do that. Um, I have a general idea of how my ranking's gonna go. I am pretty certain on who will be in the top five, and pretty certain also on who I consider to be in the bottom half. So we will do that. I also though think that those in the middle of the tier will be the ones that are challenging. I know there will probably be a couple of opinions I have on some of the people in the list that are controversial, um, and others that aren't. But it's my opinion, it's my perspective. I will be relying on several sources of information that I obviously will share with you where I'm drawing my conclusions. But they will mostly um, be very reputable and scholarly sources. So that's the plan as of now. I also am trying to. Sometimes I watch the videos afterwards and I'm like, oh, that's not great quality. Up the quality of the videos and make them more appealing. So that's the plan at the moment. We're going to go on this ride together. Those of you who watch the videos, because you come back and watch the videos, and I appreciate that. And me, because I will be the one doing the research and doing the work of putting these people on a list and figuring out their place in history. We've, as I said, we've had some good presidents in American history. We really have. We've been fortunate at times. But we've also been very unfortunate at times as well. And there's a lot of bad. A lot of bad. And there's some pretty obscure figures in there. And I think those obscure figures sometimes are ones that just kind of are the hard ones to pinpoint on a map. But as I said, we will not be ranking William Henry Harrison because he served 31 days in office. We will not be ranking James Garfield because of his short time in office. We will not be ranking George W. Bush because of political biases and the fact I don't believe enough time has passed to properly rank him. President Obama for the same reason. Donald Trump, ditto. And obviously, if Donald Trump loses re-election by that time, a new president would be in office, and I wouldn't have enough time with them, or also the question of political biases creeps in. I've stated on this channel before that I will not be casting a ballot for Donald Trump's re-election as president. So obviously that means I will be voting for Joe Biden. And if Joe Biden's victorious, I could have political bias feelings toward him positively. But I don't. So that's my perspective. I think sometimes people are apt to put a ranking on a president way too soon. I saw right after Barack Obama left office some scholarly polls were already ranking his presidency in history, and even some while he was in office. I saw I don't believe it was a scholarly poll, but it was a like a magazine that ranked him, and I just felt that to be so wrong and backwards. It's not enough time has passed, and we're not able to see some of those policies fully mature and have an appreciation for them. So that's the plan. I will see you all tomorrow. And the reason I made this video today was tomorrow will be the 231st anniversary of George Washington taking the oath of office for the first time as president in 1789 at Federal Hall in New York City. The capital was not yet in Washington, D.C. It was not even in Philadelphia. It was in New York City at Federal Hall. At the corner of it was in the financial district. What is now the financial district. So I will see you all then. Y'all have a great day. Peace and quiet, y'all. See you. Stay safe.